Now just here as you enter the gate of the graveyard, we have the Betsborough Mausoleum, and there's some information on this mausoleum, and I will add that to the video. So we'll go over and we'll read the plaque that's over the door, but it's a beautiful looking 1800s mausoleum with that old rusty iron door on it there. So just above the door it says, in memory of, it looks like Eliza Johnson Newman, who departed this life April the 15th, 1878. And you can just see above the door we have the name here, Henry Newman, Betsborough. Now I did have a look inside with the camera we have, that Sue has.
The endoscopic
scope camera. We had a look inside, and it seems to be the case that inside the mausoleum there's a lot of water has built up inside in the mausoleum, and you can just see at the bottom of the door here what I'm talking about. There's actually water coming back out through the little hole there on the door. So a lot of water damage. Now I did try to look inside, and it is hard to see anything in there. So as you can see, it's hard to get around the old graveyard here, and there's tons of these mounds here, burial mounds, with no stone markers or nothing on them like that. There you can see, and you have to be very careful in the area. There's a lot of holes, and this one here now is unusual. You have this headstone here like a stone slate, and there's no inscriptions on it. But just the other side of it, then you have all that mound of clay and grass that lies up against it there. Now there's just a couple up around the area here we'll look at. Now this is another one of those old like chest tomb kind of look graves, and it's covered in ivy and thorns and stuff, and just another one there beside it. Now there is lovely headstones here. I'm going to try and make my way in to read this beautiful headstone. You can just see Our Lady carved into it there. In memory of Dennis Sullivan, who died the 8th of March 1909. His children Jeremiah, Julia, Mary, who died in infancy. Patrick died in 1904, Dennis in 1906, William O'Sullivan 1949, age 73, and so on. But it's a beautiful old headstone, and there's another one just on the same plot there as well. Daniel Sullivan, who died in 1903, age 70. There's some more of those grave sites there. Look at that, covered in ivy. And there seems to be a lot of these stone ones, isn't there?
I like this one.
Like they look the same, a lot of them. And people do ask, you know, when I do these videos, are the people in the top section of the tomb there? And they're not buried in the tomb, they're buried well below ground. Now this one here is lovely.
They're called blackberries.
all this look old railing around it, and the headstone there, and it's very high up, all this mound, isn't it? You have all this here, and blackberries, wild berries grown,
And you can eat them.
and you can black and red berries, and they're edible, so they can be eaten. All these berries here. Now there's a very notable grave down here that I want to come and show you. The O'Neill family, and there's a bit of a connection to United States of America on this one here. And here's the Celtic cross of the gravesite of the O'Neill family. So Captain O'Neill visited Cahara here in 1906 and commissioned this Celtic cross in memory of his parents, who are buried here in Cahara Old Graveyard. Daniel Francis was born in Cahara in 1848 and left home at the age of 16, travelling and working in various locations, before joining the police force in Chicago. He was appointed as Chief of Police there in 1901 and served in that office until 1905, when he retired from the force after 32 years in the police. He came from a musical family and began to collect Irish music and dance tunes while in the US, and with the help of others recorded many thousands of melodies over the decades. His Music of Ireland, as it was known, publication in 1903 featured 1,850 Irish tunes and went on to be reissued under various titles over the years, and is still highly regarded by traditional musicians. He subsequently published many other volumes of Irish music and dance tunes that he recorded for posterity. Captain O'Neill is buried in Chicago, but he is commemorated in the townland of Tralaban in Cahara by a life-size bronze memorial of him depicted playing a flute. So that's the headstone here, the Celtic cross, and we'll read what it says on it, on the inscription. Erected by, and you can see there, Captain Daniel Francis O'Neill, Chicago, USA, to the memory of his parents, John O'Neill, who died in November 1867, aged 66 years old, and Catherine O'Mahony, who died January 1900, aged 88 years old. So there we have a beautiful Celtic cross that was erected there to commemorate the life of his parents and himself, a captain in Chicago in the police force for 32 years. So there's more interesting history in this old graveyard here in County Cork. So we'll keep walking around and see can we find some more interesting history, and that's just amazing to know that a man left here when he was only 16 years old to travel across the water to go to America and joined the police force, and was also involved in the musical side of things as well, and just being careful coming in around here. Look at this burial site here also, like a chest tomb up on top of this old hill here. Isn't that beautiful? The red brick, very, very old. And I don't know if there's an inscription on the top of that, so I'm going to go around and have a look. And there's a hillside here, so I'm going to see, can I hopefully read what it says on it. No, it is extremely hard to read, unless I can see that in edit, guys. I will put text over this. But you can see how high up this is from the ground. I'm up on the top of it here. So I'm trying to make my way back down as we go around the old graveyard. And here's a beautiful heart-shaped plaque here, like mosaic style to it. Some very interesting old stones here in the graveyard. Now we have a military grave here. So see, can I read the inscription? We see the anchor on this, so we see he was involved in the Navy. D. Keohane, P.O. first. And there's his number, 211781. HMS Vivid, 9th of February 1920. He died aged 39 years old. A beautiful military grave. And thank you for your service. Now, I believe just in there, amongst all those trees, you can see at the top of that there is a mausoleum or crypt, maybe I suppose you call it, in there. We're going to go over and have a look at that. So I just found this on my travels, and look at that. An old mausoleum, and I'd say what's up the top of that there is a chest type tomb with the name, maybe, and the inscriptions on that, and it's covered in ivy. But just below that then you can see this old door here and those steps that lead down there. So I'm going to see, can I get a closer look inside this, and I'll get back to you. So I'm going to go down the steps here of this old crypt and take a look inside and see what we can see. Now I'm going to put the torch in here, guys, and see from closer inspection. Now there is a couple of cobwebs there, so I need to clear. Now if that could focus for me. Right there, guys, it seems to be like I'll just try and focus it. Just there, guys, you can see at the back of the crypt it looks like a small miniature sized statue, and it could be Our Lady, and you can see how the vault was built with all that brick on the roof of it there, and they made a kind of an altar at the back of it.
Like blue bricks as well, is it?
It's a dark colour, black and red colour bricks, and look at the top of the roof there. All that, what would you call that, grown on top of the ceiling there. So just down below then, if I can see in there, all the coffins have broken away and there's nothing at all left inside the vault here. So they wouldn't be lead coffins because they wouldn't have broken away like that. But now, who knows if that's pieces of bone there that's gathered in that side of the crypt. And just down on this side here, we can see more of that old coffins have broken away there also. Look at that. We can actually see some form of a coffin there actually on the left. Just there. I believe that could be a coffin.
Oh, it's definitely a coffin. It's like there's white cloth there as well.
It could be cloth there also, yeah. Very, very old.
Now, if you go down the bottom of the door.
Now, but that altar area is amazing there. And I don't know if I can zoom in. Will it pick that up? If I can go in a bit closer. And it looks like it's a statue of Our Lady. Now it's inside another like candle holder kind of an object. Just there, look at that. So guys, that's the old crypt. And I had a look inside and tried to get as best a view as I could inside. But as I was saying, up the top there is an old chest tomb. And the person that's buried here, and if I find anything online about it, and find a grave maybe or something like that, I'll add it into the video. Absolutely. So that's the old crypt. And how amazing is that? That old rusty door and the steps going down to it there. Another great find by Grave Visitations. So guys, I'll end the video here in Cahara Old Graveyard in County Cork. Very historical old graveyard here with lots of history and some stories. And these beautiful mausoleums. So until the next time, I'll see you all on the next adventure. Take care, God bless guys. See you soon.